one of the most important stories of today. New York Times has gotten a hold of a letter sent out by Koch Industries, of course run by the Koch brothers, enormously wealthy people who are in the oil business. As you'll see, that is very, very relevant here. They sent it out to other wealthy Americans who are on their side and saying they're doing 2 meetings a year. They just had one in June in Aspen, and they're saying the next one's coming up after the elections in January in Palm Springs. What is the point of the meetings? Well, it's to fight what they call, quote, climate change alarmism, the move to socialized healthcare, as well as, quote, the regulatory assault on energy. Now remember, they're in the oil business, so they would have a high incentive to fight what they call the regulatory assault on energy. In other words, hey, for example, some of your refineries are polluting the environment. We need to make sure that that doesn't happen so that people around your refineries don't get sick. They call that a regulatory assault on energy. And we need to make sure that your product isn't putting all of us in danger through climate change, and they call that climate change alarmism. Now, they have a high degree of motivation to make sure that they fight on these issues, and they are. For example, they're fighting a law in California that would put caps on carbon emissions. They don't like that law at all, and they want to gather all the people in the energy industry and in that field to make sure that they finance efforts to make sure that they win, and in my opinion, the people of California lose. Okay? So now, what are some of the other visions that they have for this meeting? They say that they have, quote, a vision of how we can retain the moral high ground and make the new case for liberty and smaller government that appeals to all Americans, rich and poor. Now, they're not inviting the poor to Aspen or to Palm Springs. They're inviting the richest people in the country. But they're saying, how can we get people to believe that we're on their side, even if they're poor? Well, one of the ways they're going to do that is by, quote, and these are all from the letters that the New York Times found from their organizations, from, quote, fashioning the message and building the education channels to reestablish widespread belief in the benefits of a free and prosperous society. In other words, free from regulation, that's going to cost my money business, even if I'm polluting, and prosperous, as in I get to be more prosperous. How can we educate people to believe that? Well, let's look at the list of people that are coming to this and see if it really is a representation of the American people. Well, we've got not only the Koch brothers who are organizing it, but private equity and hedge fund executives like John Childs, Cliff Asness, Steve Schwarzman, who, by the way, compared Obama's slight tax increase for the top 2% to what Hitler did. Okay? He's going to this event. Ken Griffin. And then entertainment and media mogul Phil Anschutz. He's ranked 34th richest person in the country. Rich DeVos, who was the co-founder of Amway. Steve Bechtel of the giant construction firm. Kenneth Langone of Home Depot. And, of course, a bevy of Republicans like Edwin Meese, Foster Friess, Fred Malek, who conspired with Richard Nixon all the way back then. And then we've got Governor Haley Barbour. This is a who's who. This is a murderer's row of Republicans and rich folks getting together to figure out how to educate all of us, right? Bobby Jindal, Senator Jim DeMint, Tom Coburn, Mike Pence, Tom Price, Paul Ryan, and interestingly, a couple of Supreme Court justices like Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas, okay? And one of the presentations given in Aspen, the event in June, was by Glenn Beck of Fox News Channel. Very surprising. It was, is America on the road to serfdom? The only question is, were people in favor of that or against that? Were they like, yes, we are, that's fantastic, serfdom rocks? Of course, what they do is they flip things on their head and they say, oh, no. We will make you more prosperous and not serfs by serving our interests. Now, they don't want this getting out because they're not quite sure that people are going to think this is on the up and up. So they warn participants, do not post this on any social network or blog or internet site. Do not talk to any journalist or magazines. That's in the letters that they send out. It's very important that this be secret. Okay, so come conspire with us and the richest people in the country about how we can help educate rich and poor alike, as to how we need less government regulation and less taxes for us. I mean, everybody. Look, these are the guys who are secretly funding all the Republican campaigns across the country now, and they're doing it for a specific purpose: to make more money for themselves, not for you. So understand what's happening. We found the mother lode. This is where it's going down. And my guess is now that they're discovered, they'll probably move that meeting in January to another secret location where they can give more secret money to the Republican Party for further education. Young Turks.